What is going on today, guys? Oh boy, do I have a story for you guys today. Holy shit. Let's see, where am I? Rolling by Chicago. Linwood. He got his truck, got through training, did his road test, got his truck, called me, thanked me for teaching him how to drive, all that stuff. So that was good. That was real good. But man, I have had a rough 3 days. I really need to get some sleep, but you know, I'm okay for now. I'm running on pure adrenaline right now. So when I dropped Linwood off, I got a call from our training department, and they said, we got another guy for you, ready to train. We'll just give him your number, and he can call you, and you guys can coordinate when you'll be back in the terminal, and you guys can go from there. And I was like, it was kind of a weird day, because like, I was excited to see Linwood go out on his own, but Linwood was pretty cool, you know. We talk some shit in here, have some fun, but he needed to go make that real money, so he's off on his own. But I'm like, okay, a new trainee, all right. So, a new trainee calls me, and he asks when I'm gonna be in the terminal. I say, about 5:30. About 5:30 tonight, I'll be in the terminal. He says, all right, I will see you then. Sounds good. I get to the terminal. Also, before I get too much into this, I have the written version on Reddit. I'll probably leave parts out on both of them. So if you link this video up with the written version on Reddit under the same name, you might get the whole fucking story. But anyways, I get to the terminal, and I'm in there doing some laundry, you know, watching some TV. And it's about 6:37 by this time, and I hadn't heard from my trainee. And I'm a little worried about my weights right now because I forgot to scale. It'll all make sense as I go through this video. That was something I wasn't thinking about. I'm going through a pre-pass right now. Let's see what happens. Okay, we got the green light, so we can get back to it. Anyways, about 6:30 or 7 at night, the trainee calls me, and he says, hey man, I couldn't find a ride down there, because he lives in the town where our terminal's at. He said, but I'll be there as soon as I can find a ride. I said, that's all right, man, take your time. I'm here doing laundry, and I'm parked here for the night anyways. And he goes, for the night? I said, yeah, for the night. We'll leave in the morning. And he goes, now, man, tell me why the fuck I would come down there to the terminal and sleep in a truck with a motherfucker I've never met before if I can stay in my own motherfucking bed. And I said, do what you want, dude. If you want to stay home for the night, I don't care. I said, the truck's leaving at 4 or 5 in the morning. Be here before then, or I'm leaving. That's it, right? So he shows up. Sorry, I need nicotine bad today. He shows up in the morning. It was about 4:30. I was actually kind of surprised he was there. I was thinking for sure he wouldn't make it. But he starts just throwing his stuff in the truck, and he throws it on my bed. My bed's the bottom one. It's the nicer bed. It's got a nicer mattress, right? He starts putting it there. And I pointed to the top bunk and the top shelves. I said, all that's your space up there. I got it all cleaned off for you, so use that, right? And he goes, oh no, he tells me I'm not going to be able to sleep on that fucking thin mattress up there. I need your bed. I was like, well, that's not going to happen. And he like would try to like argue with me, like, dude, it's going to be really bad on my back. And I was like, no, right? You can't have mine. Sorry. So anyways, we start to leave town after that. And by now, I should have already sent in a message to dispatch or safety or someone saying, I ain't taking this guy. But me being me, I can teach anyone. He'll be all right. We start rolling down the road. Like I said, by that time, it's about 5 in the morning. Not much traffic, you know. But there's one car right next to him in the left lane. And he like smacks the steering wheel, and he goes, now what the fuck is this motherfucker doing? And I said, what's wrong? And he goes, fucking sitting right next to me. I said, well, you got to turn your blinker on, or they don't know that you want over there. I said, even if they see your blinker, they might not let you over there still, right? But right now, the guy has no idea that you want over. You can't be mad at him for it, you know? So I say, you gotta calm down, man. You gotta be patient. we've got him calmed down now. And I'm trying to get it all in order in my head. It's 2.5 days, and it's probably one of the worst 2.5 days of my life. But so we're driving, and there were a lot of things. Okay, so first thing, he starts swerving into the, like, he swerves to the left. Like, Linwood would always drift off to the right, and I'd be like, Linwood, you need to keep it in your lane. I would tell Linwood, I said, I don't care which lane you want, but you can only have one, right? So he starts swerving into the left, and I said, all right, so you'll need to straighten that out and stay in your lane. And he's like, nah, I ain't worried about it. I said, what do you mean you're not worried about it? He said, there's no cars by me right now. When there's cars there, I'll pay attention, but right now I'm not worried about it. I said, well, you should focus on staying in your lane at all times. You don't want to be going across traffic lanes, you know. What if you don't see that there's a car there in your cross lane? What if it's summer and there's guys on bikes out there, you know? You might not see them when you're swerving across that lane. There's a lot of reasons why you should stay in the fucking lane you're in, all right? But he said, nah, I'll only worry about that when people are around me. Oh shit, okay. God damn. So, we're driving a little while later, and I don't remember if we were in, it must have been Illinois, I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, a lot of states have truck speed limits that are lower than the car's posted speed limits, right? So I pointed it out to him. I said, see that sign for the truck speed limit? And he was going way over it. And he said, yeah, I see it. And kept going, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? I said, well, are you going to do anything about it? He's like, no, of course I'm not. And I'm like, why? Why won't you do anything about it? And he said, because all it's doing is causing you to impede traffic. And I said, well, no, we'll stay in the right lane. You don't want to be out there in the left lane going whatever the speed limit is, 60, 65, I don't remember what it is. But stay in the right lane unless you need to pass someone. That's not impeding traffic, that's just following the law, right? The rules. No, he did not slow down. Here's where I keep fucking up. By now I should have had the truck stopped, been on the phone with someone, and been like, someone needs to come get him, right? But I'm still me. I'm like, I can teach him. I got patience. I can teach the guy. So later on, we're rolling through Indianapolis. Not a whole lot of traffic, but some, right? And I tell him to go ahead and turn off your cruise control. I said, kind of back off a little bit. Just, you know, take it easy through here, you know? And he did not do that. He did not. But it was really bad over there in Indianapolis because, you know, you guys drive cars, or you're familiar with cars, or some of you drive trucks, I don't fucking know. But when you're on the interstate going through a city, you'll see a lot of signs that say exit only. And if you're in that lane, that means that lane's leaving the interstate, right? He'd come all the way up on those things. Now the guy would put in his headphones, his earbuds, and crank music. He couldn't hear me talking to him, and I'd be like, you gotta take those out so you can hear me, right? But he had those on, and I'd be telling him, you need to move over a lane. He didn't notice I was talking to him. So he'd get all the way up there right before it exits, slam on his brakes, hit the blinker, and go. I said, we need to clean that up, man. You need to be watching those signs. You need to be reading the signs. So, that didn't improve either. So far, everything I've said, he's ignored, right? We come up on a, I don't remember what two highways cross there. I'm so fucking tired right now, right? But he took the wrong one. It's the big curves, right? And one goes left to go north, and one goes right to go south, if I remember right. Anyways, we were supposed to go south, and he goes north. But it's a 45-mile-an-hour curve. Now, guys in your car, you're going, I don't give a fuck, and you shouldn't. You can get through there at 65 still. In a truck, you don't do that turn at 65. Well, my man hit it at 65 miles an hour and scared the fuck out of me, all right? Like, what are you doing? Slow the fucking truck down. I need some water. You need to slow down, right? Then, we get through Indianapolis. Somehow still alive. And we haven't killed anyone else. driving down the fucking road, and I feel the truck getting slower, and it's like getting slower pretty rapidly. And the dude does the weirdest fucking thing. He's holding the brake pedal down, right? And he's just staring at me while he pushes on the brake pedal. He's not looking at the road at all. I don't even know if he's blinking, right? He's just staring at me while he holds the brake pedal down to a complete stop on the interstate. And I looked at him and I went, "What's wrong?" And he shakes his head, looks forward, and starts driving. What the fuck? Right? What the hell is going on? Holy shit, what am I thinking? Why haven't I sent this guy back to the terminal yet? I'm still trying to give him a chance, you know? So we get a couple miles down the road and I go, "Hey dude, what was that stop about?" And he's like, "Oh, I pushed the wrong pedal." And held it till you came to a complete stop on the the interstate? You're gonna have to explain this shit to me, right? What do you mean you pushed the wrong pedal and then continued to hold it in? Fuck my life, right? So it gets even worse than that. Yeah, believe it or not, it gets worse than that. We're driving some more and he's got it going. This truck doesn't go that fast. It goes 67, but he's got it going all the way. And come around a corner. And around this corner, there's two other semis and a minivan. I think they must have just got on the highway because there's an on-ramp right there and everything. But they're moving slow. They're moving real slow, right? And he drives straight towards them, right? And I'm like, what the hell, right? And he keeps going, he keeps getting closer, closer. So I reached over and like smacked the Jake brakes and I say, "Get on that fucking brake pedal." And he just shakes his head. He goes, "Oh, I didn't see him." I said, "That's enough." At some point through this whole story, I ended up driving half the day while he slept in the passenger seat. Somewhere in that timeline that happened also. But anyways, after that, I was like, let's just call it a day, man. We'll just start over again tomorrow. I sent out an email to our training department like, this is really unsafe, you know? And the guy in the training department, he's really cool. These guys come in clutch at the end of the story. But he says, "You do whatever you think is necessary." So me being me again, I send back a response email in the morning. Oops. And I tell him, you know what, I'm gonna just drive today and I'll drive like half the day the next 2 days. I'll have him observe what I'm doing and hopefully that'll, you know, help him with some better habits out here. Sort of a lead by example sort of thing, you know. But hopefully that'll help him with some better habits. And Gary says, yeah, that's a good idea, let's do that. So this was yesterday now. I drove all day. And we had a short day because I'm almost out of time on my clock. I'm running recaps for you truckers out there, right? And we just had a short day. And I just drove the little bit we drove. And parked the truck. And this dude started arguing with me that we need to be running, and I said, well, we can't, I'm out of hours. He said, I don't know what the fuck that has to do with me. I have hours. I said, I know, but since I'm your trainer, I have to be on duty anytime you're on duty. It's not a team driving setup here for training, right? So I gotta be on duty when you are. And he says, no, you don't. And I was like, yeah, I fucking do, right? But then I start going through the whole thing with him, the logs, how much farther we have on this drive, how many miles we can get this day with the amount of hours we're going to recap, and what times we need to be rolling to make sure we make this appointment on time, which I have my concerns about now. I'm in bad shape on this load, but I'll figure it out. He doesn't understand what I'm trying to tell him and takes it as I don't know what I'm saying. Motherfucker gets on the phone right next to me and calls someone. Says it's his old trainer. I didn't realize I was his second trainer with this company. Red fucking flag, right? There's a problem there. But he literally told this guy, he said, hey man, I'm with my new trainer. And he doesn't know how to manage his logbook, manage his clock. Do you got any pointers for him? And I'm sitting here going, I just told you how we're going to manage the clock. I told you how we're going to regain our hours. I told you how we're going to use them to get the miles that we need. I just gave you the next 3-day plan. And he says, all right, okay. Gets off the phone and he says, yeah, he said you need to go off duty also. And I said, that's not how we're fucking doing it, right? I said, we're done for the day. Get some rest. I said, at 4 a.m. tomorrow, we're rolling. We're rolling. I said, we're not waking up at 4 a.m. now. At 4 a.m., we're rolling down the fucking road. So get some sleep. I went in to get something to eat, came back, laid down, right? And I'm laying there, and he's sitting up here in the driver's seat with his feet up on the other seat, which I'm not a fucking fan of. And he's doing some really weird shit. He's got his key that I gave him. I have his key now. As you can see, he's not fucking here, right? Gave away the end. Spoiler alert. But he every once in a while he'll just turn the key on the truck. Not start the truck, but turn on the key so like all your stuff comes on, right? Just doesn't start the engine. You guys know what I mean. The radio would come on, and every once in a while he'd turn on a light, leave the light on for a few minutes, turn off the light. Never move, just turn on the light, sit there, turn off the light. Roll down a window, leave the window open for a little while, roll up the window, turn off the key, sit there in silence. 10 minutes pass, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sleep. And he turned on the key. Now the radio's on, right, the whole time. When he turns on the key, the radio comes on, and there's speakers right above my bunk back there. On each end, there's a speaker. Nice surround sound effect, right? And I'd sit there for 10 minutes with the fucking radio on, and I'm really trying to be patient, you know? And then he just turned it off, and he'd sit there. He turns on the key one last time, and goes, I'm about to get me some fucking sleep. Radio's still on back there. I said, dude, turn off the radio. And he goes, well, weren't you listening to it? And I'm like, no. What do you mean, was I listening to it? Dude, I'm back here. I'm trying to sleep, right? Of course I'm not listening to it. He said, well, I thought you turned it on. I said, dude, you were literally turning the key on and off for like the last 2 fucking hours. How are you not making the connection there, right? You've been doing that the whole time. He's like, well, I just thought you wanted to hear it. Dude, if I wanted to hear it, I'd turn the shit on. Motherfucker, right? I was really fucking mad. So he turns it off and he climbs up on his bed, and as soon as he's hit his bed, he's passed the fuck out, right? Fine. But then he starts snoring like a motherfucker. Which, you know what? I try not to get mad at the guy for snoring. That's something you can't help, right? But it was like the straw that broke the back or whatever, right? I don't know. And, I fucking lost it. Like, I didn't say a fucking thing to him. I was laying there trying to sleep through his snoring, you know. And I finally jumped up and fucking, like, got dressed, went out the door, and I fucking slammed the door yelling something about some motherfucker, right? Just fucking, like, I had to get out of the truck because I was gonna fucking snap, right? Which is not good. You don't want to be having problems like that out on the road. I'm not even violent. Like, I just get my ass kicked is what would happen, right? So, I'm not trying to catch an ass whipping out there on the road. I went inside. It wasn't a truck stop. It was a travel plaza, right? And I went in there and I was just hanging out, drinking sodas, scrolling through Reddit. But I didn't know what to do, and I shot off another email to the training guy telling him, you know what, that's it, I need him off my truck. Like, you don't even need an explanation, I need the guy off my truck today. And I wasn't going to move the truck until they told me they were getting him off the truck. But after a while, I was supposed to leave at 4 in the morning, but it got closer to 6. I was like, I'm going to have to roll out. I'll just deal with it when they get a hold of me. And so, I'm driving, because I'm not letting this dude drive a fucking truck, right? He's dangerous. He's a fucking menace out here. So I'm driving, and when I got back in the truck, because I sat there all night, guys. I slept maybe an hour, right? And I sat there inside that place all night. When I got back in the truck, he goes, Josh, should I keep you up all night? And I said, yeah, dude. And he starts apologizing but he apologizes for the snoring. And I said, you can't help that, you know? I'm reasonable, you can't help that. I said, but you're up every night messing around with the radio. His first night in the truck, he synced his phone up to my fucking stereo and was just blasting his music, just sitting up there. I wanted to see how this works. Fucking, you don't know how Bluetooth works? Come on now, right? You know it works. But anyways, I'm like, you know, you sit up here every night, dicking around with the fucking radio. You're randomly rolling windows down. Like, truck stops are loud, you know? They're fucking loud, and it's winter time. Roll the fucking window up, right? So I'm not gonna be mad at you because you snore. I'm mad because, like, this is where I fucking live. I have a house, right? But I'm always in here. It's the same as going into somebody else's house and fucking with their shit, right? I said, you have to respect that, you know? You have to respect that I'm letting you be in here with me because I'm trying to teach you the job, but this is where I live, and you need to be much more respectful of that. But I told him, because I'd already heard back from the training department. Sorry about the long video, but there's a lot to it. I had already heard back from the training department through email that they'll take care of it. That they'll get him off the truck. So I told him, I said, we had a little change of plans, though. I said, I got to get home because I got a little bit of a situation over there. You know how it goes. So we're getting you linked up with another trainer so you can finish your training. He says, okay. And he was mad at me, though. I could tell he was mad. And it was right about the time I told him he needed to be respectful. One of those guys, I guess, that doesn't think he has to show respect. He just does what he wants. But his whole mood and demeanor was just changed. And I'm like, something going on here. But, so I'm driving, and I said, hey, there's a Love's coming up. Do you want to get a shower? And he said, yeah, I need a shower. I was like, okay, cool. What I was doing was I was trying to get on the phone with work in the terminal instead of doing it back and forth through emails. Just tell me what I'm doing and I'll get it done, right? So I figured I'll get him to go take a shower, and that's when I'll get on the phone with him. So we get over there, and actually when I'm in the parking lot, Gary calls me and he's like, so should I just get him on a bus and send him home? I said, yes, please. And Gary just laughed, saying, oh, it's not the first time this shit's happened, but I said, yeah, do that. He says, all right, I'll call you back in a bit. I'm finding a bus terminal close to you. We're going to buy him a ticket. I said, okay, I'm making him get a shower right now. We'll work that out while he's doing that. Gary says, good deal, let's do it. So I go in to get the shower, and at the truck stops you have rewards cards, so your showers are free and all kinds of shit, right? And I told the lady I need a shower. And he's standing right next to me, so I hand her my Love's card out of my wallet, and she goes, you don't have any showers. I said, yeah, I do. I have unlimited, I get all my fuel at Love's. You guys have heard me talk about that, because I like all my points in one spot, right? I said, I have unlimited fuel, and showers. She goes, you don't have any showers. And she slides a card back to me, and then I look at the card, and it's a brand new Love's card. Mine's been in my wallet for a long time, so it's all beat up, right? I looked at the dude, and I said, where the fuck is my Love's card, right? And he goes, oh, we must have got that mixed up. Reaches in his wallet and pulls mine out. Now, a lot of you guys are going, why the fuck does it matter? It's just a rewards card. Well, why it matters is because the only fucking time my wallet's out of my pocket is when I'm asleep. So when I'm sleeping, the guy's going through my fucking wallet. It took a minute for it all to click. I'm like walking back to the truck, and I'm going, I don't care if you look at that as just a card or what. This dude got in my wallet and fucking stole from me while I was sleeping. And then it all starts to start making sense in my head. I'm like, that's fucking creepy, right? That's not okay. So I called up to the terminal. I'm calling Gary over and over, but he's not answering. So I sent a Qualcomm message. I said, Phil, tell Gary to call me urgent right now. So Phil calls, and I'm like, Phil, I needed Gary. And he's like, well, I heard you had a rough night. I said, I ain't got time right now, Phil. Phil's my dispatcher. I said, I ain't got time right now, Phil. I need Gary on the fucking phone right now. And he goes, what's going on? I said, he stole my Love's card. Phil, being an old trucker, goes, what? You don't steal a man's Love's card, right? And I said, he got in my wallet. to take my Love's card. I don't have a little cubby hole I throw it in my wallet. I said he got in my wallet to take my fucking Love's card, but he replaced it with a new one and thought I wouldn't notice. And he goes, oh, what a fucking snake, right? He says, hold on, I'm getting you over to HR. HR lady's already filled in. These guys over at Butler were fucking crushing it with this shit because everybody in the office knew what was going on by this point. She answers the phone. I am so sorry. I said, we can deal with that later, okay? Because it just occurred to me that he has no issues with stealing from me in my sleep. I got 25 miles to that bus station, and he ain't getting back in this truck because I don't know what else he might want to do. I'm not a big dude. I'm not a fighter, you know? I said, he's not getting in this fucking truck. And she goes, okay, that's fine. She says, I understand. She says, but you have to go give him his stuff. I said, no, I'm not. She said, then put it outside by your truck. And by that time, I'm halfway out the fucking door with all this shit in my hands, right? And I'm putting it down there. I said, okay, I'm pulling away. She goes, wait, don't do that, okay? Don't do that. She said, sit there, you know, and let him know his stuff's there. I said, well, I'm going to lock the doors. I locked the doors, right? And I said, I'll fucking point out his shit and I'll wave as I leave, right? And she said, okay, I'm gonna call him and let him know what's going on. She's like, are you safe? I said, I'm safe. He's not gonna do anything. She said, good, because I'm about to rip his motherfucking ass. She told me just like that. I'm like, holy shit, this woman's gonna fuck some shit up. All right. Anyways, he comes out of the fucking Loves like a fucking crazy person, running out the door towards the truck, arms up, fucking just yelling something, right? I think he was yelling, you're bullshitting or you're lying or something like that. I don't care that it's just a Love's card. You don't steal from a motherfucker, right? Especially a guy that's trying to teach you a new job where you can make a lot of money. My Love's card isn't worth much money, but I could teach you how to make some money, right? And I pull away. And then everyone stood up and clapped and the president called. I'm just kidding. But now I got a message from Phil on my Qualcomm, and he said, it looks like your truck's just a one-man operation again. And I just responded, thank you, and I got the fuck down the road, right? He sent me another message. He said, you're doing fine. You didn't do anything wrong. He said, I know that you're new to training. He said, but you need to remember, if you're training a guy and he's like that, you make the fucking decision, all right? If you want to drop him off in the middle of nowhere, it's up to you, okay? You get a hold of us, we'll figure out how to get him back to the terminal, but do not keep people in your truck like that anymore. And I was like, okay, I didn't know. I'm trying to keep myself out of trouble. But it started to feel almost like life and death for a minute there. Like I was in a panic for the most part. I'm like, this guy's, think about that. Somebody's going through your shit while you're sleeping right there. That's creepy, man. That's fucking weird. Anyways, they told me they said they got him on a bus back to our terminal, and they told him he might as well go find employment somewhere else. Didn't mean to make a half-hour-long video, guys, but there was a lot to it. Hope you guys watched it. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.